We're going to need a little help here. Audra, Christian? Yes? We said last week, since we're celebrating communion here together and we can't be together in the same space, that we'd talk about communion a little bit together before we celebrate communion. So something to notice is Audra is our assisting minister. Something I learned when I was serving Lutheran churches is Luther's theology says that a layperson always helps with serving communion, always. Because pastors come and go, but people stay. And so the memory and the work of the church is given to the church congregation. So it's certainly a blessing to have Audra, and we have several other people who are assisting ministers, and many of them take home communion to people too. So that's a lovely ministry that we started together here at the church. Now, our table isn't as it normally is, as you can see. Normally we've got trays stacked up, yes, and bread all over the place. We've got, well, what we have is a tray of wine and a tray of bread for each one of the 4 sections in the church, the balcony, and the chancel. Yep. And we have an usher for each section. So we're used to having everyone participating. And as the communion is distributed, the people who distribute the communion pray for people as the trays go down, which is a lovely ministry that we have together. But because we're alone in here, this is what our communion tray looks like. It's kind of empty. But what we have set up while we're navigating this time is we have things set up for people to come and get. Now, do you know what the bread and wine are called in the church? No? Does anyone? Bueller. These are the elements. These are the elements. We have bread, when we break the bread, and we have wine, we take the wine. But we let people choose between wine and grape juice. And the grape juice is clear, so people know to choose the grape juice. And I think that our kids know that because I think they maybe go for the wine, and mom and dad says, or parents say, nope, you use the
so
clear
Christian
stuff.
Knows
That's better wine for you. Yeah. Yes. What did you say? Turn your microphone on, Christian.
That is not what I do.
Okay.
But he knows which one is his today.
Yes. It's right out in public. We have some special words that we use for these things on the table. This is the chalice. This is a chalice. It's something I lift, and I always drink from the chalice, and there's usually more wine than I should have in morning, but it's nice. It's nice in there for me. This chalice. And this, do you know what that's called? Does anyone? No?
A wine pourer.
A wine pourer. Thank you. Yes. It's called a flagon. It's called a flagon. Chalice and flagon and the elements. And then what the bread goes on here, this thing here, this is called a paten. And can you see, Christian, can you see how the bread is sort of cut a little bit there? Audrey did that, getting ready for it, so that when I hold it up, because if not, I'd be like,
struggling,
right? So she gets it, she scores it, and she gets it ready for me, right? Now, we celebrate communion in a distinct way as a congregational UCC church. We don't celebrate communion like Catholics and Episcopalians do, for example, where the priest only handles elements. We believe that the congregation makes it holy, and so we integrate that into our liturgy, the way we celebrate communion. So we have 2 pieces of paper there. Could you hand me my book there, Maureen? 2 pieces of paper there with the communion liturgy in it. Yes? You'll notice at the top, it's got the prayer afterwards. That's because when I come down with the assisting minister, we get the table ready during the offertory, so we're already down here. So the prayer to dedicate the offering is on this sheet of paper. And then after that, there's you see what that next heading is? What does that next heading say?
The sacrament of Holy Communion.
No, this heading right there.
Invitation?
Invitation. That's where I turn to the congregation and I tell everyone, this is for you. No matter who you are, no matter what. We don't exclude people. We think that including people is a testament of our faith, so I say something like that. And then we start with what's called, it says the communion prayer. Yeah, do those words look familiar to you, Christian? Yeah? Go ahead and read the first two lines.
The Lord be with you.
And also with you. Yes, that's the great Thanksgiving. We say that before we celebrate communion every single time, so much so that we don't even look. We can just say it from heart. And then there's a prayer. Audra reads that prayer. And following that, what's the heading in the top of the next page there?
Words of institution.
Words of institution. Whoa. Words of institution. That's an odd phrase, isn't it? Words of institution. What's an institution? The whole church is an institution. The school district's an institution, right? Words of institution. What's the first words there that you see?
In the night which he was betrayed.
In the night of betrayal and desertion. The words of institutions are the words that appear in the Bible that Jesus said when he celebrated communion with the disciples right before he went to the garden and was betrayed. So we say those words, and then following the words of institution, we say the Lord's Prayer. See them there, Christian? Yes? The Lord's Prayer. And then we do something that's very distinctive for us and our understanding of Holy Communion, which is after all that, then I consecrate. I say, I ask the Holy Spirit to bless these things. We don't believe that the things in themselves are sacred. We think that they're made sacred by our prayers and by the Holy Spirit. Yes? Mm-hmm. Yes. And then we send things out. We send the elements out. People take the bread, eat the bread as they receive it, and then we all lift the cup. Yes? And we say it's the cup of forgiveness and the cup of blessing. Yes. Poured out for us. And thus we celebrate communion. So we're very glad that you're joining us at home. We're really glad that Christian's here with us. And we have some people here, a few people in the church, so that we can celebrate communion on this first Sunday in May. Thank you, Christian. Thank you, Audra.